Nation of Fit and 10. It is day 23. Scans are wrapped up. There's still some of you who didn't come in for your scan, so I'd still recommend that you do it, even if you think you didn't make any progress. Perhaps the last 3 weeks just didn't go well for you. Still come in for it, and let's get you refocused. And look, you have a much better idea of what to expect for the next 3 weeks, right? Because in the next 3 weeks you can have your third scan. So let's get you going. Kudos to everybody who's come in for their scan, and we had a lot of great results, and let's just keep going. Like I said, if you didn't have great results, just keep pushing ahead. Look for those areas in the challenge where you feel like you can improve upon, and let's capitalize on those, even if it's just one thing, even if it's one aspect of the diet. Let's try just to capitalize, even if it's not necessarily getting your numbers. It's maybe just, for example, improving on your protein intake, or something like that, okay? All right, let's get to more questions here. All right, so this is under name something specific that you need help with. Carb options that are not potatoes or oat based. Okay, all right, so for this person, I'm gonna actually recommend, this person has actually a lot of autoimmune type issues, or has an autoimmune issue with a lot of different foods. So this person's very sensitive to foods. And I don't know if this is going to be of help to you or not, but I'm going to pull something up here. And for those of you who are unaware, and I'm certainly not advocating that you don't eat plant-based foods, obviously I am, but there are some plant-based foods that are going to be more toxic, and some that are going to be less toxic. All plants are toxic. Most roots or seeds or stems or that type of thing of the plant tend to be more toxic. The fruits are the ones that tend to be least toxic. Let me just go through a list here. Maybe this will be helpful to you. I'm going to go beyond carbohydrates here, or carbohydrate strong foods. Okay, so I'm just going to list some foods that are plant-based that might be more that will agree with you a bit more, okay? So we've got things like, these are gonna be least toxic, okay? Avocados, we're talking generally speaking here, they have the at least less amount of toxins in them. So avocados, berries, squash, honey, olives, cucumbers, generally sweet fruits, okay? Oranges, apples, peaches, that type of thing, and dates. Okay, here are some that are known to be more toxic. Seed oils, which obviously I'm never going to recommend to you. So seeds or seed oils, leafy greens, nightshades, so your peppers, your tomatoes, alliums, so things like onions, garlic, shallots, these types of things. Legumes, what is known to be under the title of brassica, which is usually cruciferous vegetables. So things like broccoli, your cabbages, Brussels sprouts, etc. A lot of the cruciferous vegetables, grains, nuts, of course I already talked about seeds. So that might be more helpful to you. So again, some of the stuff, if we're talking about carbohydrates, which might be better for you, generally your sweet fruits, squash, yams might be okay as well for you. I know you can't eat potatoes, cucumbers, honey, so those would be some good, I think, carbohydrates that you might do better with, okay? All right, let's move along here. Name something specific you can improve upon for the following week. Brain. Okay, so this person says they can improve upon their brain, I'm assuming. All right, that could open up a can of worms here. So I think we'll just move along. Name something specific you improved upon for the following week. I was under my carbs for 1 or 2 days. I'm going to add more carb-heavy foods to my meals, like potatoes or rice. Maybe have some oatmeal in the morning. Okay, so all of those choices are great. Those are real food, real whole food choices, right? Name something specific you need help with. What to do when you're camping. Oh, sorry. I misread that. What to do when you're cramping during workouts. And what to do to prevent it. So generally cramping has to do with 1 and or 2 things, okay? Well, it generally has to do more with hydration, okay? But hydration is 1 or 2 things. Water and electrolytes, right? Like your main salts, your magnesium, your calcium, your potassium, your sodium, these types of things. Personally, what I tend to do is I actually will take some pink Himalayan salt, and I'll put that in both before I work out and during my workout, along with water. I also, I'm a bit of I tend to, exaggerate when I do things. So, first thing in the morning, I do 2 liters of water, first thing in the morning, with lemon or lime juice and apple cider vinegar. So I do that in a big vat of water, and I drink that over the course of about 20 minutes. So basically I hydrate with water, and I have quite a bit of salt in my diet. Now normally salt is known to be bad, but again, you may want to be careful with salt if you're eating a lot of junk food, a lot of foods that are already super high in sodium. But if you're eating lots of real whole food, these generally are going to be lower in sodium. And again, sodium and other salts, these are vital to your well-being. These are vital to you feeling energetic. These are vital to movement. These are super, super important elements that are necessary for you, okay? Including sodium. If you have too much sodium, the body will just expel it, okay? Really, sodium becomes a concern if you are, if you have some sort of homeostatic mechanism that just will not work for whatever reason. So you're part of a very small percentage of the population that can't regulate sodium very well, okay, or can't regulate it at all. You have to be very, very careful with this. Another situation might be if you suffer from high blood pressure, okay? But for the rest of us, especially those of you who are eating real whole food, which should be all of us, right? Who are exercising a lot, which should be all of us, you want to make sure that you take in lots of sodium. And for me, I take in extra. That is, I purposely add it in multiple times a day. And I never, ever have any cramping issues. Okay, you can also take, pink Himalayan salt is not going to cover all of your elements. It'll have those electrolytes that you need, but it's going to be obviously more stronger in the sodium and the chlorine. So if you want to get in some of the other electrolytes like potassium, magnesium, etc., calcium, then take an electrolyte mixture, right? Okay. So what to do if in case of a cramp during workout, and what helps prevent it. Okay, so again, that water with electrolytes, get those in throughout the day. Okay, you could also get something like, there's lots of electrolyte mixtures out there. You can get something even like Pedialyte. Okay, that's a good electrolyte. But any electrolyte mix is going to be very, very helpful. Okay, and then again, just have that with water throughout the day. But salt alone should be very, very helpful to you, I would imagine. Okay, just make sure you hydrate, so drink more water through the day. Make sure you get those electrolytes. All right, let's get to the message of the day. And what is my message of the day? Oh, I don't even have it open here. All right, let me see if I can get to here just quickly. I've got to open up my email here. So I'm using a different laptop, so just bear with me. again, not just with cramping, but you might notice that with, if you're depleted in electrolytes or you're dehydrated, you might just notice that your energy is down. So quite often people will think, oh, I didn't eat enough or whatever, but quite often, or I didn't get enough carbohydrates in my diet, but quite often it's just hydration. Okay, so I cannot stress enough how much electrolytes and water are so important, okay, to just feeling more energetic throughout the day. Okay, message of the day. Behind every successful person, there are a lot of unsuccessful years. Behind every successful person are a lot of unsuccessful years. So remember this. Remember that when you're looking at perhaps somebody that you aspire to in any capacity, if you're looking at your coach per se, and you know, perhaps you could say I'm good at a lot of these things that I'm prescribing to you. There's a lot of trial and error, there's a lot of research, there's a lot of years of making mistakes, there's a lot of years of trying to figure out how to do this movement correctly, there's all of that, right? And I still consider myself as, I don't consider myself as, you know, unsuccessful or successful. I just consider myself, you know, like basically more successful as the years have gone on just from trying, right? So, and this applies to everything. So, you know, you just got to keep working, right? You've got to expect that most things, if not all things, will take a lot of time for you. It doesn't matter what it is. So, you know, and this is, as I'll say to you with many of these messages of the day, these are good reminders for myself. You may feel discouraged with something that's new to you, or even something that's not even that new to you, but things just take time. Things take time. But those who are successful, or those who end up doing really well in a certain capacity, for the most part, unless they're outliers, you know, it's just a lot of patience and working away, right? A lot of patience and working away. You know, perfect example is the light bulb, right? I mean, I'm sure this is probably exaggerated, but I think it was, who was it that invented the light bulb? Was it Thomas Edison? Or, yeah, I think it was Thomas Edison. Anyways, I have to go back and look. But this guy was, I think he tried, you know, what was it, 10,000 tries or something, right? Anyways, doesn't matter what the name was, but he tried a lot. I'm sure he tried a lot. And, or, you know, Ford for that matter, right? The guy who, you know, Ford vehicles, this guy went out of business or went bankrupt 8 times. You think after you went bankrupt at least a couple times, you'd be like, probably not cut out to do this, right? But eventually he just, you know, he persisted. And, you know, stubbornness and ignorance can sometimes serve well, right? So, all right, so I'll say it one more time. Behind every successful person are a lot of unsuccessful years. Keep going, keep trying, keep pushing. This is just in the infancy, this challenge. Even at the end of the challenge, it's still the infancy of your, you know, what I hope to be your, you know, you changing certain lifestyle habits, implementing some better habits, like food prep, like exercise, right? And maintain these things. All right. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. We'll talk to you all very soon. See you guys.